Moses was his mentor, and Joshua learned a lot from him. Joshua loved the presence of the Lord and often lingered at the tent of meetings after Moses left. He was one of 12 spies sent to check out the Promised Land, and one of only 2 that gave a good report. The book of Joshua begins with God speaking to Joshua and commanding him to cross the Jordan and lead the Israelites to the Promised Land. God assures Joshua that he will be with them. The Battle of Jericho begins Joshua's conquest. He sent 2 spies to investigate the city. Rahab the harlot hid and protected them. God parted the waters of the Jordan for the Israelites to cross over. Joshua took 12 stones from the Jordan to set up as a memorial. He organized the circumcision of the men. The Israelites marched around Jericho 6 days, and on the 7th day the walls fell down. The invading army spared Rahab's household. God instructed the children of Israel to plunder they can take, but Achan took an accursed item, and he coveted Joshua's next battle that took place in Ai. God allowed the men of Ai to defeat the children of Israel because of Achan's sin. When Joshua found out Achan's sin, he had Achan and his family stoned. Afterwards, the Israelites defeated Ai, and Joshua built a memorial over the king of Ai's dead body and read from the law. Joshua made a covenant with the Gibeonites. After they deceived Joshua, telling him they were from a faraway land, they dwelt with the Israelites as woodcutters and water bearers, which was Joshua's curse on them for their deceit. A federation of 10 kings went to make war with the Gibeon for making peace with Joshua. The Gibeonites called Joshua for help, and he went with his armies, and the Lord rained down large hailstones that killed the kings and their soldiers. Joshua requested the sun stand still, and the sun stood still for a day and did not go down. 5 of the kings escaped and hid in a cave. Joshua ambushed the cave, killed the kings, and hung them for all to see. He cast them into the cave in which they hid and covered it with large stones. Joshua's victories continued, and in total he conquered 31 kings. Joshua grew old, and God said that much of the land remained to be conquered. God instructed Joshua to divide the land as inheritance to the tribes of Israel. Joshua gave Herebin to Caleb because he was wholly followed the Lord. Joshua set up the tabernacle in Shiloh. 7 tribes had not yet received their inheritance. God sent them to survey the land and cast lots and divide the land to them. God spoke to Joshua and had him appoint the cities of refuge. Afterwards, the Levites came to him and requested to know the cities in which they will live. All of God's promises to the children of Israel came to pass, and the Lord delivered all of the enemies into their hands. God gave rest to Israel for a long time from their enemies. As Joshua neared death, he called for all the Israelites, their judges, and officers. He urged them not to worship the remaining nations' gods or to make mention of them. He said it was the Lord who fights for them, and he urged the Israelites to love the Lord with all their hearts. If they make marriages with these nations, they will become snares, traps, scourges, and thorns to them. God spoke and recounted his mighty acts and how he gave the children of Israel a land with good things they did not build. Joshua commanded them, "Choose this day whom you will serve," and admonished them to put away their foreign gods among them. He took a stone from the memorial for the words the Lord spoke. The Israelites departed to the area of the country given to them for their inheritance. Joshua died, and the Israelites buried him. They served the Lord under his leadership and the elders who succeeded him. They brought the bones of Joseph and buried them with Aaron, son of the inherited areas.